folks. Welcome to another episode of the Picks from the Sticks podcast, brought to you by your host, Devin. Coming to you from Olds, Alberta.
Old Alberta.
We're in the bunkhouse. We're down here in the basement. Episode number 95.
Yep.
Getting close to that triple digit episode. I
Yeah.
don't know if we've talked about this before, but like, how many episodes do you think the typical podcast makes it to?
Honestly, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say most people probably like get like 1 or 2 out. And then
So
they're
like, are
"Fuck this."
we like considered like legit?
No, and you know why that is?
Why is that?
It's because we almost have more episodes than we have listeners.
No one knows that.
Probably that's probably what the stats show.
Yeah, but
No statistician here.
again, thank you to everyone though that's been sticking around, especially the people like the other day in the bar. We had a fella that came up to us. To be honest, I was kind of wasted, so I'm sorry. I forget your name. I remember
this.
that. Yeah, you're also quite wasted as well. This was last week, Thursday. No, 2 weeks ago. On
Who's
St.
the last time
Patrick's
you
Day.
even went out? Oh,
2
yeah,
weeks
St.
ago,
Patrick's Day,
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I
You're
don't
probably
think-
listening right now.
I don't know if we brought this up, but man, green beer hits different.
Oh yeah.
It does.
But he came up to us and he said, "You," and I apologize. It's probably the third time I apologize. Apologize for not remembering your name. Not gonna lie, I was quite sauced. You were also quite sauced.
I was lost in the sauce.
I was lost in the sauce as well. And he's like, I listened to every single episode.
Fuck yeah.
So shout out to that fella. Shout out to
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
that's stuck around with us. I'm guessing we're half decent.
I think that was the most drunk I had been in a while.
Phoenix, Arizona beat that one for sure.
Well, yeah.
Arizona
You were
was like-
yakking by the end of the night, so no shit. you were
Arizona
almost
was a
drunk.
top 5, top 3 probably. I would almost go number 1, but I would say Brandon last year might have beat that one. We'll see if Brandon this year beats that one again. We'll see what happens. But no,
I don't know if I'll ever have a more drunk than my like 13th birthday because my parents were like considering taking me to the hospital and get my stomach pumped. So
Arizona
that might be a top
even
one.
myself, Arizona. In Arizona, I was considering it, but I was like, I can't do this.
To get your stomach pumped?
Oh, it was bad.
It was not that bad.
Dude, man, when you're
You
sitting there on the
sissy.
bathroom floor and you're just like, holy shit, what's
Yeah,
happening?
you clearly haven't spent enough nights on the bathroom floor.
Oh, I've spent a lot of nights in the bathroom.
Clearly not enough. You're thinking of getting your stomach pumped. Also, you didn't have fucking travel insurance. So, what did you want to pay 10 grand to get your stomach pumped?
Well, and then I remembered I was in the States and I didn't want to pay 10 grand. So, and I wanted, yeah.
Just keep yakking. That's your way of pumping your stomach.
Oh, I kept on yakking, that's for sure. But yeah, no, that's a little side
Were you
tangent.
just dry heaving at one point?
Oh, yeah. Hands
Like,
down.
pretty hard. Like,
Well,
did you even get much sleep that night?
No, and then I kind of woke up in the bathroom for shivering because
It's cold.
it was cold. It felt good, but it was cold. Fucking on the head. Best remedy, if you're ever super drunk, just stick your face or your forehead on something cold. Best remedy.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
I also think fresh air.
Fresh air too helps.
There are times where I start feeling like shit. If I just go outside, get some fresh air, man, it works wonders.
Actual fresh air, not
Actual
city,
fresh air.
not city fresh air.
Yeah. Go touch grass.
Go touch some grass. Go rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, go rub some dirt on you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, no. All in all, though, thank you to everyone that stuck around and listened.
Yep.
And then, of course, thank you to everyone that's also supported Bar Double Diamond, Paul Timber Calico, as always.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And then yeah, I mean, also if you're ever, this brings another tangent. If you're ever, if you're listening and you're ever interested in supporting the podcast, but I guess more than just listening. I guess we do have a link down. It's called Buy Us a Beer. Feel free to buy us a beer. And then also, if you ever in or want to have the opportunity to maybe sponsor or think about sponsoring someone, our email is in the description, or just DM us on Instagram.
Yeah. That's
So,
a fact.
yeah.
But yeah. No, I've kind of been thinking though, because
Yeah.
the past couple days I've watched the snow in my front yard slowly creep its way back. I'm seeing more and more grass every day. Spring's a coming, Dev.
Yeah.
So sparked a little thing in my head. Like, what are you most looking forward to for spring?
Planting.
'Cause it seems like we've had fucking winter forever.
Planting season, baby. Who else wouldn't be excited for planting season?
So you not know like recreational things.
Planting, farming. We live on very different calendars when it comes down to summertime, man. I'm excited for my job to start scouting too. I love scouting. We have very difference between a landman and a guy that works in
I'm
ag.
excited to like be able to wear a t-shirt again. That'll be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm excited to. I'm not excited to. There's a point though during the summer and the spring where it gets too hot.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of
Especially
that.
since you don't have AC in your car.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I'll have that problem again.
It's gonna suck again.
Good thing I spend most.
Especially since you put on a couple pounds of that, so you probably sweat even more like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Good thing I spend most of the summer in the company truck. So
yeah, there you go. Hopefully you got AC in there.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's just planting, man. I love planting. I love seeing cows on pasture, stuff like that. It's for me being an egg. It's the best time of year in my opinion.
It's when you actually get. That's the reason why they pay you for your job.
Well, yeah, and like for me, like the hours.
That's job security for you right there.
The hours will be nice for me too and stuff. So, no, that's well. What are you most excited about, Mason?
I want to get like a really good tan this summer.
I
say that. I can tan, and I have before in the past. But the problem is, this is all thanks to my mom. Thanks, mom, and probably my dad too.
Hey,
but like,
hold up 1 second.
Milo. Yeah, get the fuck out of there.
Good job,
shithead.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can get a tan, but the problem is if I'm not consistently out in the sun, like I just lose it right away. You've seen my mom; she's white as a ghost.
Yeah.
You think she can tan? No, that's where I got it from. I can tan a little bit because of my dad, but I always tell myself every summer, I'd be like, man, I'm gonna get a wicked tan. Like I'm gonna be nice.
So like, are you gonna like actually try
have all the babes all over me because I'm gonna have this nice dark skin, and then I go out and I try sometimes, but
Do you ever try like the oils?
I think I want to get a spray tan. That'd be kind of sick. Just kidding. I don't know. Is there anywhere in Olds that does that?
You do, you man. I don't know.
I
don't even know if we have a tattoo parlor, to be honest.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we have a tattoo place.
Oh, I should hit that up. Never got a tattoo before.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, but
yeah. What else? I'm surprised you didn't say to get on a boat.
I don't have any friends that have boats this year, so
you just friends with a bunch of brokies.
Well, I mean, at the ranch we got rowboats and kayaks,
the canoe,
in a pond that's a little sketch to swim in, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's still clean, but it's not that clean.
Yeah, no rich friends.
No rich friends this summer, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I got good friends. I don't need rich friends. I just got good friends.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Don't need rich friends. You got good friends. I should make that a slogan. But anyways, should we hop into the Western word of the week quick?
Yeah, here we go, folks. Welcome to this week's Western word of the week. Dictionary of the Old West.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so usually I try to find a word.
Yeah, so while Mason's doing that, we haven't even said who we're interviewing today.
Yeah, we got a big.
We have big special guest on, Benjamin Dakota Rogers. Everybody.
That's right. We got another musician. We got another country guy here. So yeah, it was a really good interview. So
have you ever heard of John Come Home?
John Came Home.
John Came Home. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Benjamin. On Instagram, it's that fell right there.
Yeah.
Which is how. All right, Mason. What's our word of the week?
All right. Mexican strawberries.
Oh boy.
I don't think this is racist.
Oh boy. What's a Mexican strawberry? I'm not even gonna guess.
It's a slang name for dried beans.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that.
Mexican strawberry.
All right, let's find another word that maybe doesn't.
I don't think that's insensitive.
I don't think it's insensitive either, but
yeah.
People are weird these days,
Mexican
so you gotta be careful what you say on the internet. So, yeah. But now you know what in the old Wild West what a Mexican strawberry was.
Okay.
I got a quick one. Or you got a story this time?
No. Okay. You keep talking.
All right. Shout out again, Bar Double Diamond. Use code Hicks10. I think she did a release like 3 weeks ago, and then I think she restocked on some. So when I recently was on, there's one that was catching my eye. This nice little black one with a floral on it. That's like black on black.
Oh, that one looks mint, man. That's
Oh,
the
man.
vintage one, the black vintage.
I was
Dude.
considering it. I almost put in the code Hicks10.
Dude, that one's fucking sick. You know which one I thought was really cool too? The ones with the dandelions on them.
Oh yes.
Dude, and those ones sold out right away. I think.
I know.
And there was also like there was the regular dandelion one, and then the dandelion one with the Holstein print in the background.
Oh yeah.
Sheesh.
even Miles got a wild right, folks. So
Milo does, yeah.
and he looks quite dashing.
He looks quite dapper.
Dapper dashing. Dashing.
Looks sharp.
Yes. All right.
Anyways, painting his nose.
Oh,
What do you think it means when somebody is painting his nose?
he's selling some cow shit.
No, but that actually is a good guess. It's not close to what the right answer
He's
is.
sticking in his nose in places he shouldn't be.
No. Your first guess is better
Oh.
for comical reasons, but no,
Oh.
it's said of one getting drunk.
Oh.
I don't really understand what that has to do with painting his.
Well, I
nose.
mean, like if you think about it, all right.
Okay, I'm thinking about it.
From a beer standpoint, right? So do you know how when you have foam,
Foam?
like you have a bunch of foam on top of your beer,
Yeah, when you open a can.
and if if you're drinking draft beer, right?
Oh,
then you go,
yeah.
Maybe you sip it too far, and then you get down. If you got a big ass
Yeah.
nose, like a big pointy nose like Pinocchio,
You got a big.
yeah, maybe you're painting your nose with some beer.
That's actually a good point.
Don't know if that's
But-
exactly what it is. That's not the fact
Then what
check.
if you're like drinking whiskey though? How are you painting your nose in that sense?
See, maybe it's just a beer thing.
Maybe.
Maybe it's just a beer thing. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. Next time you're at the bar, you painting your nose,
Mm-hmm.
and don't be putting other shit up your nose.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's refrain from that, folks. But yeah, no. Let's get it though into our interview here with Benjamin Dakota Rogers.
Yep.
Great interview. Definitely go check him out on Instagram. He's not touring in Canada right now, but he is touring in the States. So if you have
Unless
any-
you're from Vancouver, he has a show in Vancouver.
right, he has a show in Vancouver coming up.
Yeah.
I think in April he said or something like
Something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so be sure to check him out, see his tour dates and stuff like that, especially if you're into that old kind of folky type country music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good.
Yep. Let's hop in.
All right, Mason.
All right, we're
Mile,
rolling.
get out of my spot. Oh no, he doesn't want me to get. All right, I don't stay here today.
All right, hello, folks. Welcome to another interview on the Hicks from the Sticks podcast. Today we have singer and songwriter Benjamin Dakota Rogers coming all the way. Well, he's in Montana right now, but from Ontario, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
My first question I kind of have for you is, what do you like go by? Do you go by Benjamin? Do you go by Dakota? Or are you like Rogers, Raj, maybe Ben?
yeah, it's usually Ben or Benjamin. It's never much mattered.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Because
Awesome.
there's a lot of options there to pick from. So
Like Mason said, you're from Ontario. Which part of Ontario are you from?
So I live. My family has a little farm, an hour and a half, kind of southwest of Toronto.
okay.
Okay.
Are you kind of by Guelph?
No, further down than that.
Okay.
So you buy like Niagara?
Not quite.
You can tell I'm from Alberta because you have no clue about Ontario.
Yeah, no, there's
geography
like
whatsoever.
a little section kind of that hasn't been destroyed yet. That's a bunch of tobacco farms and just kind of it's all just farms. But things keep creeping closer. I noticed last year they built some subdivisions in Mount Pleasant, and I can see like the glow of streetlights. It's like kind of going up into the clouds from over the trees behind our house now.
Yeah, the concrete's gonna
Yeah.
make it there before you know it.
Yeah, I'll be gone by then.
How far are
Awesome.
you guys away from the American border then?
About an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Okay, gotcha.
That's Buffalo would be the nearest city for that, right? Or is it Detroit?
It's pretty equal distances for where I am.
Gotcha.
Maybe the difference. minutes.
Sorry. What? Sorry. Finish.
I
What you're
just said
saying.
like the difference of 20 minutes.
Okay, gotcha. So you said before we get into the music stuff, you said you come from a small farm. What does this farm entail?
It's not, we're not growing anything. It was a tobacco farm, but it's been like harder and harder to grow tobacco out there. So we build greenhouses.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we build greenhouses and got some forests to hunt on, and not much of a
I
farm.
didn't realize guys were growing tobacco.
Yeah, how do
out
you even
there.
grow tobacco? That's a good question.
I don't know. I've never done it. We build the greenhouses. They start them really early in the spring, and then they're big leafy things in all the fields all around us.
Okay.
Except from
Is that one of the? Is it also kind of like with weed where you're not supposed to smoke your own crop, or is it a little tamer?
you're not allowed to. You're not even allowed to grow plants personally. Like they're stricter on tobacco than they are on marijuana.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I wonder if there's a reason for that.
Probably just some sort of corporation greed thing. They don't want you to be able to.
That's fair. That's fair.
True.
That's
Yeah.
fair. So,
Actually, I got one more question about kind of Ontario before. I don't know if you wanted to move on. So if you're kind of right in the middle there between like Toronto and Buffalo, are you a Maple Leafs fan or a Sabres fan?
You guys are gonna hate me for this. I've never. I grew up without TV, and my family aren't sports people, and so I don't think I've watched a hockey game in my entire life.
that's one of the most. I'm sorry to say this, but that's one of the most un-Canadian sentences I've ever heard in my life.
I know.
Come on, man. Come
I
on.
played a bit like on our pond and shit, but I don't think I've ever actually watched a game.
Okay. Have you even like since you've been on the road and stuff, maybe stop in a bar for a drink? Have you started to pick up the game a bit, or not? Like you're just like, nah.
Nah, man. Nothing.
It's not too late, man. You could get into it.
Yeah, I saw the jerseys and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, these aren't mine though. So
yeah. Well, if you are gonna become a fan, definitely pick the Oilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. Pick the Flames. But yeah, no, I'm back to the greenhouses. So since you guys build greenhouses, what's your favorite vegetable?
Ooh, I like tomatoes. I guess that's a fruit, isn't it? But I'd go with tomatoes.
So that brings up the debate. I think we had, and for anyone that's listening, we had this debate, I think, in our literally the last podcast episode. But is it a fruit or a vegetable?
I mean, it's technically a fruit, but I mean, I consider it a vegetable.
I eat it like it's a vegetable, but it is a fruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's a pretty good choice. Pretty versatile. You do a lot of things with tomato.
Yeah, fair enough.
Have you ever had somebody throw tomatoes at you while you're performing on stage?
Not yet.
Is that on your bucket list?
I think it'd be kind of fun at a festival.
Have you had anything thrown on you while you're on stage?
We get bras once in a while, but that's about it.
That's pretty sick.
That's still pretty sick. All right, let's get into the music stuff. So, like, how did your music career start?
Like, I was a fiddle player. I started playing fiddle when I was like 7, and so I'd travel around and I'd do all the fiddle competitions around Ontario and a little bit out of that, and just kind of like picked up my banjo and mandolin and eventually guitar along the way. And yeah, started writing songs at some point and started putting out some really crappy EPs that are now hidden from the internet.
Yeah.
And kind of like trudged away at that. I used to tour for years. Like right when I got out of high school, I would tour from home to BC and back, and I play like all the little towns along the way. And that was kind of that's how I made all my money. That and busking and doing all that stuff. And kept putting out records until the TikTok blow up that happened last year. I assume you guys would have discovered me. And then
I didn't know about you until Mason. We were driving out to our buddy's ranch out the one day, and I can't remember which song he played. I think it was one of the ones you had from TikTok. He's like, listen to this guy. This guy's good. And I was like, oh, he's actually not bad. So no, that's
John Came Home.
John Came Home, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one everyone seems to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So you used to do fiddle. Was there a lot of people who played the fiddle in Ontario? Like you said, you would go to these competitions. Was it a pretty exclusive club almost? Like you're seeing the same people there every time?
It was a lot of the same people, but it's a pretty big scene. Like old time fiddle, like Ottawa Valley fiddle is really big in kind of like rural parts of Ontario. Even I think it makes its way everywhere, but there's like a pretty sizable fiddle scene. It's like very isolated from kind of all other music scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's I don't know, there's probably a dozen competitions that happen throughout the summer. Everyone brings their trailer and camps out, and they rent out a hockey arena or something, and everyone competes. There's like 10 microphones around you. It's
Oh
very
yeah.
exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I can't really speak. Like I know in Alberta specifically, it seems like it's an instrument that's kind of like dying in a sense. Like
Yeah,
like obviously lots of people want to hear it in the music and stuff, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of kids that are taking it up nowadays.
yeah. No, I don't think so. I think where I am, there's kind of like a unique pocket, and same with like out on the East Coast. There's still pockets of like pretty strong fiddle traditions, and I'm sure there's some stuff out west. But if there is, I don't. What is there? I don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. My question is the banjo. How did you get into playing the banjo? Because you're probably the first person I know that actually knows how to play the banjo.
So the thing with banjo that is easy. There's like 5-string banjo and there's 4-string banjo. 4-string banjo is it's tuned like a fiddle, so it was really really easy for me to pick up. I'd learned how to pick, but yeah, it was really easy to kind of like figure my way through. And I can kind of play 5-string banjo now, but I'm not nothing special at it. But I
Yeah.
played like the tenor guitar, which is what I'm playing on John Came Home. It's the same thing. It's the same neck as a tenor banjo, so it's pretty interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you have to wear the little metal spikes when you're playing the banjo,
No,
right?
you can if you're doing 3-finger picking, but I play like claw hammer, or plectorum. So like I've got a guitar pick, or I'm playing like with my thumb in the backs of my fingers. But no, the little the tin picks are like a bluegrass thing, doing like the three-finger picking.
Okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
I guess that makes sense.
Last instrument question. What's the mandol?
Mandolin?
I want to say
Mandolin.
I was about to say Mandalorian, but it's not even close.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's tuned like a fiddle, but the strings are doubled up. You've probably seen them. They're kind of like weird little oval instruments. They're in lots of bluegrass music.
Mm-hmm. And are you someone that's unique? Like, are you the only person that knows how to play that, or how did you figure out how to start playing that instrument?
Yeah, again, it's just like fiddle, and there's lots of tutorials on YouTube and all that stuff. It was just kind of, and I was like young and just trying to learn everything I could at the time.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. When you initially, we're going back to like the initial start. What were some initial challenges and what were some initial successes when you started?
Like like I guess what era?
Let's go to the beginnings, I guess. Maybe beginnings of the professional career in a sense.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for musicians is just finding funding to continue making music and not being homeless at the same time.
Fair enough. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm really lucky. I built a little apartment up in the loft of one of the pack barns on my folks' farm, and so lodgings were always fairly cheap, and that pretty much is what allowed me to keep making music and yeah, keep working. Because until you get lucky, there's very little money to be had.
Yeah,
and it costs a lot of money to do, with all the gas and the driving, and making records is super expensive, and all the promo that goes into it. So I think just having no money, but like having lots of plans and wanting to put out music.
Mm-hmm.
What was the initial success though? What really elevated your professional career?
It really was getting TikTok. I've never been like a huge fan of social media, and so I wasn't very good at keeping up on it. And I got a call on New Year's Day from a manager from Nashville. This is a couple of years ago, and he was interested in working with me, but he wanted me to get my numbers up, and he suggested that I get TikTok. And so I downloaded it that night and kind of started posting with decent regularity. and I had one song that popped off and got a couple 100,000 views, and then everything kind of like went back to normal for 9 months, and then I got really lucky last March with John Came Home, and it blew up and got a couple million views, and from there, then I started to see real differences, and it's gone viral a couple times since then, and that's been the big catalyst to change for my career. It's why I'm on the road right now. I'm touring with Liam St. John and Joshua Quimley, and there's real fans that like know the songs and they show up, and it's very different from what touring looked like back in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, that TikTok, it can do some shit, eh?
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been really crazy. Changed my life a lot.
What's your weirdest kind of encounter that you've had because of your TikTok? Like whether it's some guy like sending you a weird message or a weird comment, or because I'm sure there's been some weird stuff that's happened, right?
There's been less weird stuff than I actually expected there to be. Like
Okay.
I get like weird random like dudes that just like don't like my music and really want to tell me. Or like, you know what I mean? Like you get that stuff, or you get like yeah, I think that's probably like the weirdest ones. You get like people sharing like very depressing or very upsetting like intimate details about their life. But that's like, I understand that because like people connect with music, and they want to share how it's connecting with them, and so it can be like hard to read some messages, but they're less weird than the dudes that just like really want to tell me how much they want to hate me. It's kind of fun though.
You haven't got asked for any feet pics or anything like that yet?
Not yet, but fucking bring it on. I'll make my feet
Fair enough. You heard it here, folks.
What was the biggest lesson you learned initially?
just that I had to be consistent, and like there wasn't really like, if I want to trigger growth, I have to work at it all the time, but then also trying to learn how to balance still being an artist and creating music that people want to hear, and like still living and having experiences to write about, while also being on social media, like logged in all the time and trying to create content that people will engage with. It's like really weird balancing. And last year, it took me a couple months to kind of get a good handle on being able to produce content and shoot videos all the time, as well as still write music and still like be present in my girlfriend's life and like all of that kind of stuff. Just still like living like a human and not just a work machine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah, I feel like the balance. I guess it's got to be tough because I guess marketing's probably got to be one of your biggest things, eh? Like even just the producing the music and the performing is obviously what you're known for, but it's do you find that you're spending more time on marketing than you are the actual craft itself?
I definitely some months, yeah, for sure. Just like creating content, making posts. I have really bad internet because we're out kind of in the middle of nowhere, and so it takes me about 45 minutes to upload a TikTok. And while that's happening, I can't do anything else on the internet, and so it's like if I'm making like 3 posts a day, there goes like 3 hours of other work I can't be doing, and it's yeah.
Well, where's the nearest Timmy's that might have some free Wi-Fi you could use?
It's like 25, 30 minutes.
Oh,
maybe a little. It's probably less than that. It's probably like 18, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The only issue with doing that is then the workers are going to clue in one day and they're like, "What the hell are you doing here 3 times a day?"
Yeah, right.
You just really like coffee.
Usually, like, Timmy's Wi-Fi is so slow anyway.
All right, we should have asked this question before these past ones, but like, you have a very unique voice and sound. What? Because music genres are very broad nowadays. We find, but what would you consider yourself like what genre would you technically fit yourself into?
It's just like I, I'm asked this all the time, and it's like I've had to think about it a lot because I just like make whatever I like, and everyone else puts me like into boxes. But I feel like it's probably just like Americana roots, alt country type of stuff. And it kind of flows in whichever one of those directions, kind of based on whichever song I'm writing or playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like how do you even determine like the difference between those different genres? Because like it seems like nowadays it's like there's country, which is the big umbrella term, but then within there's all these little subgenres. But like I don't understand how you even categorize from there. How can you say like, oh, that's this or this that's that, right?
Yeah, and I find it's like it's all technically country music, and it's I think the categorization is more just for fans so they can try to find more music that's like what one artist they like is.
Mhm.
But I don't
Yeah.
I don't think I don't really think about like the genre thing so much. I just yeah, like I said, I just kind of like make what I like, and
Mhm.
it'll get put into whatever category people put it into.
Yeah, fair
Mhm.
enough. Well, I think it said folk on your website, so
Yeah, that's quite possible. I didn't do it.
So this is, I don't know if this is a controversial question or not, but like so you could say that your style of country music is almost, it's like
it's authentic.
it's authentic, and it like gets down to like the original roots of what country was. What's your opinion though on modern day either new country or country music?
Like personally, I don't listen to it or like it, but like lots of people do. So I can't hate on it too hard because there's such a big audience for it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people love that stuff and are connecting with that, and that means something, even if that music doesn't resonate with me and it's not something that I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I'm assuming you've been asked that question like quite a bit in your career, eh?
Like a decent amount. Like people always want to know what I think of like pop country music, and it's like it's not something I ever go out of my way to listen to, but it also doesn't offend me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
fair enough. Yeah.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
That's another thing on TikTok that people love getting in debates over is
oh
just,
yeah,
just talking shit about the music in
Yeah,
general.
like the Taylor
Yeah.
Swifts of the world and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's not my thing, and it's not like how I would want to be creating art. Whatever, people like it. People, it's a good business. It makes a lot of money, and I
mhm.
think that's kind of how you have to view it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gotcha.
for sure.
Gotcha. All right. So now that we got that established, we can keep on going, I guess. So you said you're from Canada. Did you find it difficult to start a career in music in Canada, being from Canada, I guess?
Like there's definitely obstacles. Like really, the big thing is like the drives between shows. You can
Mhm.
do like a 13-hour drive in between shows. Where down in the States there's a lot less, but there's a lot of funding available to Canadians. There's a lot of grants, like arts grants and music grants and all that stuff that subsidizes a lot of the expenses of touring because Canada's art scene would really, really struggle without those grants and that funding. And
Mhm.
so there's Factor and there's Canadian Arts Council and there's all these things that you have to apply to, and there's like some pretty strict guidelines you have to meet. But if you can nail them, I actually think we have it a decent amount easier than the U.S. does because there's a lot of money available if you know how to find it.
Yeah, just I guess it would seem like in the States maybe there would be a little bit more exposure, right? Like especially if you're in Nashville. And I'm assuming you probably have been to Nashville a time or two, eh? Maybe a part-time citizen there.
Not as much as you think. I think I did 3 or 4 trips last year. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks. I'm flying there from LA after this tour to play a couple shows before I head home. But yeah, there's there's pluses and minuses of both. I think I'm traveling with like two American musicians right now, and yeah, there's the networking being in the States is specifically Nashville or LA is like really valuable, as well as the just the population difference. You can reach a lot more people with a lot less driving.
Yeah.
But like I think that the grants have done a really good job of kind of balancing that out and allowing Canadian artists to market their music to more people. And like we have more marketing money and we have more money to make music that's given to us. We don't have to chase record deals as hard. And so I think it probably evens out. I'd even say it's probably maybe a little easier for Canadians, but it is really important to tap into the American market because that is where the people are.
For sure. Yeah. No, that's really good. And yeah, we were kind of talking about Nashville a second ago there. Do you like the city itself?
I honestly haven't spent enough time to have an opinion on the city. Like every time I go there, I fly in, I like go to my hotel. There's a taco truck I really like in the parking lot of a gas station I go to.
Yeah.
And I like go to my meetings or play my show, and I drive home or I fly home. So there's been
but like when you're parking on the street or when you're just walking down the street, like how many bachelorette parties do you think you'd see like every day?
I just avoid the downtown. I just
That's probably smart.
Yeah,
I've heard it's a super fun city. Like I've heard it's just a super good time. But yeah, I've never been, so I guess we'll have to see what it's like someday. But
so
yeah, I've just never been down in like the party area of it. It's always been like I said, it's like right to my meetings and like back out again.
Yeah. Is there like well, I guess you wouldn't quite know if you're just in and out like that, but I'm assuming there's probably a decent Canadian crowd of musicians that go down there. Do you know if there's any like even like maybe a Canadian club or something like that? Like I don't.
There's I think there's SoCan House, which is Songwriters Association of Canada, I think, or something like that. And so they're like places where Canadian artists can go stay in Nashville for free for a little bit and write and work and kind of get a taste for it.
Oh, cool.
Other than that, I don't really know.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty sick though, how like a Canadian organization has a way for people to get initial exposure into Nashville. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's great. I've never actually gone and stayed with one, but I've heard they're very cool.
Gotcha. What's the coolest place in Nashville that you've performed at?
We played at the Basement, which was really cool. It's like a dive kind of place, but Tyler Childers played there, and lots of the greats played there early on, and that was that's cool.
Yeah. Have you played at the Bluebird Cafe yet?
I have not. I would love to. I have not.
Well, actually, I guess speaking of which, what would be like a dream venue that you would want to perform at?
Oh, like something like Red Rocks or the Grand Ole Opry or something like that.
Like Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Yeah. Any of those like iconic big venues,
Yeah,
that'd be pretty dope. Yeah, that's for sure.
I would say Fenway Park just because of the Green Monster. I don't know. That'd be pretty sick.
But then you got to deal with that Boston crowd.
Yeah, that's
how
true.
many beer balls you'd have thrown at you.
That is true. Speaking of crowds, what's been the rowdiest crowd you've played for? Like which town or city?
Oh, Montreal. Montreal's like a great like party show city.
And they really like their country music out there.
They love it.
Yeah.
But it's they go nuts. Like the whole place is shaking.
Well, yeah, like my brother lives out in Quebec City, and I think Luke Combs goes there quite a lot, and every time he goes there, it just sells out, right?
It's insane. Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
I was on tour with the Dead South out there, and the Montreal show was insane.
Yeah. That's got to be fun, eh? Like when the energy is just like through the roof, like the the atmosphere. Like, could you maybe speak to that a little bit? Because you probably you're almost numb, probably, eh? Like actually that was kind of towards the end of the tour, which is when I kind of get a little numb to it. But always there's always you get like that spike of adrenaline before you play, and you get super hyped to be up there.
and you play your first song too fast, and yeah, it feels, obviously it feels great.
Yeah. No, right
That's
on.
awesome.
Right
That's
on.
awesome. What have been some stories that you've kind of been around the States for a while now, or a little bit now? What are some stories from being on tour in the States that you can maybe share? One or two, either a cool story or a funny story, maybe a PG-13 one. I don't know.
Man, I don't know if I got anything off the top of my head that's real good. They'll like pop in as we talk. What's been good?
I feel like the bigger stories probably don't come from the show itself, but just like the traveling to the
Yeah,
shows, eh?
lots of traveling, like living off of like instant noodles. Actually, that's a Canadian touring thing. Is I used to live off instant noodles, and I'd go in the morning and get hot water at Timmy's to warm it up, and I'd chop up bits of like gas station salami and put it in,
Yeah,
and that's what I'd eat for like breakfast and dinner when I was try to keep meals like under $2 a piece.
yeah, yeah. You can
But actually, we had a really crazy one. We were playing a show again. It's a Canadian one, but I was playing a show out in BC, and it was a real dive show. It was before any of the TikTok stuff. It was just me and my upright bass player, and it was somewhere in the Okanagan Valley. And so we played this show, and the owner of the venue was like, "I got a place for you guys to stay. You guys are going to be great." And so we pull up there at like 11 o'clock at night, and he leads us like up into the mountains, and it's just like run down. There's like 15 trailers out in the middle of nowhere, and they're like all the windows are busted out of them, and he's running like this like brothel. It's all these hookers coming out of these out of these like rundown trailers. It was a fucking weird night. I in front of the door of our trailer with no windows with my Bowie knife, because I thought we were gonna get our instruments and my mics stolen.
yeah,
And we ripped out of there like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was a
yeah.
rough place.
As soon as possible. Yeah, I probably like felt like you're strolling into like Sunnyvale Trailer Park
Oh,
there, eh?
And it wasn't even like that. Like the trailers were like, they weren't even propped up right. They were like little, like not like trailers. They were like campers on like
Yeah.
angles and stuff. There was one that was all smoldering and smoking because some guy got pissed and blew it up with a propane can the night before. It was messed up. My bass player's from Toronto, and like he was so freaking scared. He slept in the back of the trailer and just had me in between him with my knife. It was a friggin' weird one.
So I'm assuming you're probably not gonna do another show for that guy again.
Probably not. No,
Yeah,
probably not.
probably smart. Either that or like have a hotel
Probably
or
doesn't
something
even
you could go
exist.
to.
Yeah. I feel like that venue probably doesn't even exist anymore.
I sure hope not.
Yeah, that'd probably be for the best.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, like I guess going off track here a bit. I saw this question on the sheet going back to TikTok. I think this was Mason's question here. We noticed that you have a very circular mic in all your TikToks.
Really cool mic. Like that thing looks old as shit. Like, but super cool. Like, what is that mic?
So there's a company in Portland that makes them. They're all out of like plumbing fixtures.
Oh, okay.
And but they're made for like bluegrass bands, to live mic bluegrass bands, so they'll pick up the whole band at once, so you don't need to separately mic everything, which is why I've been using it for the TikToks, because I don't have to separately mic up my guitar and my vocals. It's really easy. I put it down on a stand and picks everything up. And they sound pretty good, and I run everything through my computer, and it doesn't hurt that it looks really great.
Oh, it looks awesome. And like, so is that like it obviously looks like it's old. Is it actually old, or is that just the way they style it?
Yeah, that's just it's like a ring and spring mount. But it's not old at all. It's pretty modern technology. Not as modern as microphones get. They're a decently mature technology. They haven't changed much in the last 60 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's
Gotcha.
no, that's another thing that really stood out to me. I was like, man, this mic is wicked.
Yeah, I think that's part of what the appeal was with originally going viral was there's like this like weird mic and I'm being
Yeah.
like loud and singing murder ballads.
Yeah. Well, people love vintage stuff too, and it looks
Yeah.
vintage. So
Yeah,
yeah.
especially like connected with roots music. There's a lot of nostalgia there that if you can um kind of channel, people really connect with.
Mhm. So when you're recording these, are you doing like recording these TikToks with this mic? Are you doing it like in like a do you have like a studio back home or?
Yeah, like all those videos are shot up. Like I was saying, I live in the loft of an old like pack barn, and half of the loft is my apartment, and the other half's a little recording studio I built. So I produce like country records and like roots country, like my version of country records.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. For sure.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's the coolest? Because I'm assuming you kind of like decked it out a little bit, right? Like you said with the records. What's the coolest piece that you have in your studio?
like non-gear,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got an Impala head on the wall. I think it's
You
pretty.
have a what?
What?
An Impala, like giant, like
Yeah,
like
like
a
the car.
no, like a deer
Oh.
with the big horns from Africa. And it's wearing a coyote skin as a scarf.
Oh, that's sick.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That is sick. How'd you get that?
I got it at an antique market when I was like 15 for $20.
No shit, eh?
That's pretty
Jeez.
sick. That is sick.
Well, and you were saying earlier, like back home, that you guys do a little hunting as well. Do you still do that, or you find it hard to find the time?
Find it hard to find the time, but I like going out for rabbits. I like eating rabbit. Yeah, but mostly find it hard to find the time. I go on lots of hikes, so it's turned into there's a lot more like foraging for mushrooms now and like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, doing that stuff rather than doing specific hunting trips. But there's like I can get lots of rabbits on the farm. They're good eating.
Have you hunted for like deer and stuff like that too?
No, I've never taken a deer. I'd really love to.
Mhm.
Do you?
Again,
You don't
like-
need tags for rabbit, do you? You can just shoot as many as you want.
I think you do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you do.
Okay. Huh, interesting. Anyways, a little side tangent there. So and then I actually want to go back. What kind of gear goes into like making your own studio? Like, is there special equipment you have to order in, or is there stuff that you kind of just picked up along the way?
Yeah, it's lots of specialty equipment. It's like I record with lots of ribbon mics, which is what they would use 30s and 40s like country records. So lots of those. You need a crazy powerful computer. There's like microphone preamps. There's a ton of specialty gear. It's so expensive to keep it going.
Fair enough. And did you have to like soundproof the whole room too and stuff like that?
Yeah, like a decent amount. Like I don't have to keep sound from leaving the studio, but you have to stop sound from bouncing off the walls and making kind of weird echo.
Mm.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it causes weird cancellation in the microphones, and it just sounds terrible.
So how do
So
you
you
do
gotta-
that then? Do you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I made, you can buy them, but I just made a bunch of sound dampening panels out of insulation, and I covered them and made wooden frames, put the insulation in it, and then covered it in burlap and hung them all over the walls.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
cool. Look, that's awesome. I guess continuing on here. So we haven't asked this yet, and you kind of brought up like people like Tyler Childs and stuff like that. What are some your like favorite artists, and then what have some that become almost mentors in a sense?
Yeah, so I grew up like 10 minutes down the road from this guy named Fred Eaglesmith, who he just got his Opry debut a couple of years ago, and he's written amazing songs. He's put out records since the I think early 70s. He's pretty old now, but
Mhm.
I worked for him for years. I worked at a guitar shop that he had, and I think that influenced me more than I realized. Now looking back at it, being around him all the time. But then yeah, like Tyler Childers, Jason Isbell, all those guys are, you know, you listen to it enough that it kind of seeps into you and it starts to influence you. Sturgill Simpson's great. You know, all those guys.
Mhm.
There are lots of other ones too that are like maybe less obvious, like Gregory Alan Isaacoff and Joe Purdy, and trying to think of other stuff off the top of my head, but that's probably the biggest ones.
I mean, I don't know if he maybe I don't know if you reference him at all, but a prairie artist, Coulter Wall, maybe.
Oh yeah. Coulter Wall again. Love Coulter Wall.
Yeah, he's pretty big. Eh? He's all over TikTok. Like he does. I don't think he posts any of his own shit, but he's all over TikTok.
People share stuff all the time. Yeah. Well, he's fantastic. He's got such a great voice. He writes great songs, and he's been at it for quite a while. I think he's only a year older than I am, but he's been trekking at it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys should go on tour together. That'd be sick.
He's sick. It'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I find the one thing he does really well is he's very authentic because he's like a rancher and a musician, right? So it kind of translates both. For you, you were talking earlier about having the experiences. So like what experiences, when you mean by that, like in country music, some guys are like the drinking, the partying, the girl, the farming. Like what for you are those experiences that translate to your music?
A lot of it's where I grew up, just like in a rural community, like out, you know what I mean? Like we didn't, it was pretty much just my brother and I. We didn't spend a lot of time around other kids. My folks were busy. We didn't like go out on play dates and stuff. So there's lots of just spending time where I am. And then, yeah, just like regular life stuff. Like, I don't think you have to experience, you just got to get like hurt by girls and out working and like being exhausted and feeling the things that other humans feel, because like how are you supposed to write songs that they connect with if you're not?
Yeah.
So then was Charlie Boy based on a true story then?
Not so much, but like I was going, I think, through a breakup at the time, but yeah, I didn't kill anybody.
Okay, good to know. I wanted to clear that up. Well, and you just dropped a whole bunch of new songs recently as well. Hey, have you been getting a lot of good feedback on those ones? I really like Back to You. That one's a banger.
Yeah, a lot of people really liked that one, which was funny. I didn't expect people to like that one as much as they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that record's been doing a lot for me. I think we're almost at 10 million streams now, which is
right on.
exciting. And yeah, it's doing its thing. Kind of as soon as I put records out, I'm usually kind of ready to start working on another one. So I'm working on my next one right now, and writing it a little bit. At least the plan is to write a little bit of it while I'm out on tour on this run. And yeah, we'll get in the studio when I get home, and hopefully have another one out by the end of the year.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I guess this question here, you probably can't really answer it, but what is your favorite song to perform?
I think it's still probably John Came Home, not because it's my favorite song, but because people lose their shit when I play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got so big, and like, I mean, I guess that was kind of the one that put you on the map almost in a sense. So it kind of has that sentimental value as well, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of fun. Like, even if people don't know me, I'll be playing somewhere and I'll like start to play it, and people like recognize it, and they might not know who I am, but they've heard it somewhere on TikTok.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
But I think Jeremiah's turning into that same sort of thing, eh? Like Jeremiah's getting pretty popular too now.
Yeah, people seem to like that one. I should probably post about that one more, but yeah, it's yeah, people
sounds like you need to hire somebody to do all your media for you.
Well, I actually do like doing it. I just it's hard to remember like what songs I've posted what day, and like, you know what I mean? There's like 40 songs or so between like all my old records and all the new stuff I'm writing. I'm trying to like test new songs on people and see what they like, and try to figure out what's going to be on the new record, and trying to still push the record that just came out. And it's good, but I've grown to enjoy the challenge of social media rather than just dread it.
Yeah, for
Fair
sure.
enough.
No, right on.
I got a question here going back to John Came Home. I don't know if a lot of people know the story of how the song was made, but do you want to like expand on that? How the song came about to be, maybe more the meaning behind the song? Because everyone knows the song, but maybe not everyone knows the story behind it.
So it's actually funny. I had that riff for quite a while, and I had the first verse for a bit, and I'd been reading a lot of westerns at the time, and I think that really influenced it. I've got a big collection of like westerns from the 50s and 60s, and so I was reading those, and I posted that first little clip that went viral on TikTok, and the song wasn't finished yet. I had kind of just the ideas for the song, and I posted it, and it hit like 4 point whatever million views, and all of a sudden everybody wanted me to release the song, so I finished it the next day, and then I had my band down to the studio the day after that, and we recorded it, and then tried to get it out as fast as possible. There's always like it got held back a little bit because I was changing managers at the time, and we had to like make sure it was released the right way so that we could take advantage of all of the interest people were showing. But tried to get it out as quick as I could, and yeah, it was fun. Recorded it all up in my apartment, and which is kind of fun, knowing how well it's done now that I did it myself up in the apartment.
Yeah, to see where it came from.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and when you're writing a song as well, like, do you find that you spend more time on the lyrics or on like the instrumental side of things?
Definitely the lyrics. Like
Okay.
I'm really quick, especially like growing up playing fiddle. Like the instrumental. Sorry, I'm just getting darker and darker in here. Yeah, the parts musically come really quick, but it's really important to me to get the lyrics right. And I really like trying to tell as elaborate stories as I can in as few words as I can. So it's like John Came Home, it's like 4 verses, but it's like it tells there's a full story. And kind of the same deal with Charlie Boy and Jeremiah. I think Jeremiah is where I did it best. The song's like, I don't even know if it's 2 minutes long, and it tells like a full
Yeah.
story.
Well, and so like, will you kind of like get a jingle first and then start making lyrics for it, or do you do it vice versa, or does it just kind of depend on the song?
Yeah, it just kind of happens any which way. Sometimes I'll have lyrics in mind, and that will inform the melody on guitar. I'll start singing, and then I'll just kind of do something similar on guitar and work out a part until it fits quite right. Or sometimes I'll have a riff for a year and I won't know what to do with it, and then I'll come up with some lyrics and it just falls into place perfectly. So they're all different, and they all kind of they all need different treatment.
So your notes app on your phone is just filled with shit, eh?
Yeah, and especially my like vocal notes.
Yeah.
I'm just constantly like talking into it or like playing little riffs. And yeah, this is a fairly new phone, so it's only got a couple hundred recordings, but some of my ones in the past have had like thousands and thousands of audio notes.
Well, and how often would you sift through them? Because I would imagine like you're making a new song, do you like go through them all and be like, oh yeah, I could use that, or do you just like forget about a lot of them?
I forget about so many. I was sitting in an airport and my flight got delayed the other day, and I went through some from even like 4 months ago, and I was like, oh shit, I wrote that. That's pretty good. I should probably go back and listen to that and figure out what to do with it.
Put a star on that one. We'll come back to that one.
Yeah, that's exactly. I like zoom in and screenshot it and add it to my folder of like where on the like, because sometimes the recordings will be like an hour long voice note, and I gotta sift through it all. But yeah, I probably have lost multiple records to just forgetting that those songs exist, or those bits of songs exist deep in the archives of my phone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, fair enough.
That's awesome. You have any more questions about the music writing or anything like that, or no?
So you got some stuff in the works right now?
Yeah. Always trying to get stuff out. I'm trying to release like a song. There's a little break right now because the record just came out, but trying to release a song like every 5 weeks or so.
Okay.
Forever.
That seems like a lot faster than like
Yeah,
most people probably
that seems
do,
like
eh?
you're like pumping out a lot more than the I don't know, the regular person, I guess. I don't know, in a sense.
I write a lot, and costs are a little lower for me since I record everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I release, the more people find what I'm doing and the more people come out to the shows and the more sustainable it becomes as a long-term career. And I'm young right now. I can do whatever I want.
That's right.
That's
You know?
fair. That is fair. All right, I kind of want to go back to the touring side. We were talking about it before. I want to come back to it. So right now you're on tour. When you're this two-part question. First of all, when you originally were on tour, what type of vehicle were you repping? Like back in the day when you first started?
Yeah, it used to be first tours were in 2004 Saturn View that I bought for $1,000, and it was great. I still actually have that car. It still runs. I wouldn't take it for a longer drive than maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I used to head out to BC in that every year, and we'd load up. It was multiple tours. We'd load up like 4 guitars and an upright bass and 3 guys and a couple guitar amps, and we'd like live out of that thing for a couple months.
How long is that drive?
35 hours, 40
Yeah.
hours, but with lots of stops in between.
Yeah.
You go like I'd usually do like so like 16 hours to Thunder Bay, 9 hours from Thunder Bay to Winnipeg, like 14 hours Winnipeg to Calgary, and then
Yeah.
You-
Yeah. You
Well,
got your spots.
yeah. Like, what's your favorite spot when you're doing that drive? Because it sounds like you've done it a few times.
yeah, I like the drive from Winnipeg to Calgary. Is my favorite. Right when the sun's going down, coming out of Saskatchewan, you hit these like really amazing hills, and there's all these pronghorns
Mm-hmm.
up, and yeah, that's some of my favorite. That's some of my favorite part of Canada.
I would say that's an uncommon answer because most people when they do that drive, they're like, "Well, that's just boring. Saskatchewan's flat. There's nothing around."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's an uncommon answer.
yeah, no, I actually love Saskatchewan. I was out there building a greenhouse back in like 2017 up in North Battleford. Wrote a
Oh,
lot of
nice.
songs. It was like, well, I don't know what I was out there a month or so, maybe a little more. And it was a good chunk of my spring. And yeah, I love it out there.
Have your experience because we're from Alberta. So how have your experiences been in Alberta?
Been
far?
great. I haven't played a ton of shows in Alberta. I play Calgary every time I come through, and it's always great. People are great. The venue there, I can't remember the name of it. There's a real great venue in Calgary that I like playing. They've got a good pork chop.
No, they do a bunch of the casino there.
Hey, Cowboys.
No, the other one.
There's a lot of casinos in
Yeah,
Calgary.
fair enough.
There's a lot of Cowboys that like to gamble their money some days. You talking about like the Jubilee Center or the Max Bell Center or something?
No, I can't remember the name. It starts with a C, I think, but it's been. I could probably find it if I scroll down 5 years on my Instagram page.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Well, I was looking on your website and I saw like you have all your shows coming up. I saw you got one coming up in like Vancouver or something in like a month.
Yeah,
or two,
yeah.
but I didn't see anything in Alberta. What the hell, man?
Nothing. I know. I just got a Canadian. I just signed with an American agent, and hopefully Canadian will work out soon, and I'll have some more Canadian shows. I haven't played. I've barely played in Canada the last like 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Granted, most of my fans are in the States. Kind of
Okay, yeah.
Montana down is my strip, but yeah, there's I love Alberta. I think Alberta is my biggest listening place in Canada.
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah, because there's a lot of people who
It's like
enjoy
it's the
that
old
music.
fashioned part of Canada, you could say in a sense.
Yeah. It still feels like there's still some wildness left in it.
Mhm.
Well, shit, you'll have to come out and maybe see if the Calgary Stampede will get you on or something.
Man, I'd love to. I've been wanting to come out to the Stampede forever.
yeah,
That'd be
it's a pretty
sick.
good time.
Yeah, it's a pretty good time. We can attest. If we whatever parts we remember. So
yeah.
for
oh.
you go ahead.
Okay, so when you're touring, like I'm sure you're at the point now where you're only playing your stuff. For a while there though, when you were touring or when you're going out and performing, were you playing a lot of covers or would you just strictly only do your stuff?
Yeah, no, I'm stubborn as fuck. I'd only ever play my own stuff. I just wouldn't take gigs that wanted covers.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
fair enough.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you're on tour right now.
Mhm.
Are you guys repping something a bit better than the Saturn at the moment?
Yeah, So the headliner on the tour is Liam St. John, and they rented a minivan. So we're in a big mom van with all the gear and all the merch, but there's way more leg room than I've ever had in my life, and
Yeah.
I'm not worried it's gonna break down every 20 minutes.
And it's got like TVs in there too, maybe that flip down.
Nah,
from the
no,
roof.
but I can control the heat from the back seat. It's really nice. I've got like a little heat control.
It's even better than having a TV.
That's better. That's good because it's probably still pretty cold down in Montana.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
decently cold. It's,
Yeah.
Have you guys driven? Are you guys terrible with geography? But we were talking before the interview that you're in Big Fork. Is that, or you were in Big Fork? Sorry, is that where all the snow is at the moment? Because I know, like, we were driving through southern Montana about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we were driving by drifts that were like 10 feet tall.
Oh no, there's very little snow here right now. It's really damp and it's definitely cold, but there's like a dusting of snow. There's nothing.
Oh, nice. Skipping out on winter a bit, eh?
Yeah. Well, it was warm at home when I left, but this tour finishes in California, so I'll get some nice warm weather before I head home in April.
Some surfing?
Nah, probably not. Sharks, man. Screw that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Do you have any more questions or last few here?
I think we can ask the last few here.
All right. So for starters, what are some major cities that you're going to be hitting up here in the next little bit?
Like we're doing San Francisco, we're doing Los Angeles. Those are, I think, and Nashville. I think those are kind of the 3 big ones we're hitting next. Like I said, Spokane, Washington. I think that's about it. I have a little bit of time off after this tour to plan and write another record. So yeah, the ones on this tour are kind of the next big dates.
Gotcha. And what's do you already know where you're kind of playing in Nashville? Maybe to highlight some of those spots.
Yeah, I'm playing at. Give me 1 second to look.
Yeah, anybody who's listening right now, I think if you go on the website, it has all of them on there, and I think you can even buy tickets straight from your website.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, everything's right on the website. But let me look here. I keep forgetting the name of the place I'm playing in Nashville. I'm playing at Dee's Lounge.
Sorry?
Dee's Lounge.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And, third and the WMOT Final Friday matinee. Yeah.
Okay. So any girls, if you're down there for a bachelorette party, hit up those places.
Those places, yeah. Yeah, I know. So that'll be the very end of the tour before I get to fly home.
Awesome. All right. Any more questions? Should we ask?
No, I think we can ask. We ask all of our guests this question. Probably the most important question. What's your favorite beer?
Oh, so I'm gluten intolerant, so I haven't been able to drink a lot of beer lately.
Oh
Well,
my goodness!
I have someone. So I'm the same, and I haven't had a single guest on this podcast. We've had 50 plus now,
I don't know.
something like that. That isn't in the same club, so that's kind of cool to hear.
Yes, I haven't had a lot of beer lately. I had a sip of a beer last night that was pretty good, but I can't remember what it was. I had to holler at Liam and figure out what it was. But yeah, there hasn't been a lot for that. Just kind of, I never really cared that much. I just drink.
As long as it gets you drunk. Well, like, are you technically celiac then?
No, I swell up like a freaking puffer fish. My fingers turn into sausages. I ate a hamburger yesterday, so my ring barely fits.
Oh yeah. Well, then if you're drinking, then like, what's your go-to? Do you stick then with like a rum or something like that?
Yeah, like tequila or vodka or something. It's like a pretty safe bet.
Mhm.
But I don't drink on tour just because it really fucks with my voice.
Oh, okay.
If I have like even a little bit to drink, I can't talk the next day. I don't know what it is. And it probably just fry my vocal cords because I get hyped up and then I'm loud and then I can't.
Yeah, it's probably not from the liquor. It's what you do after you forget what you're doing from the liquor. But oh, awesome. Right on. All right. Well, thanks again for coming on here. This has
Yeah,
been
my pleasure,
awesome.
guys.
I also wanted to say one last thing
All
though.
right, go off,
Um,
Mason.
on iTunes or Apple Music, you know how they have like the year recap or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in your top 100 listeners, so keep fucking crushing it, man. Like it's been
Thank you.
awesome.
I appreciate
So keep going, and yeah, everybody who's listening to this, make sure you check him out and listen to his music. It's good shit.
What are your socials to shout out?
Yeah, it's kind of Benjamin Dakota Rogers on everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think across everything. My website, I think, is Benjamin Dakota Rogers Music because Benjamin Dakota Rogers was somehow taken. But other than that, that's where it's at.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, yeah. Thank you again. Appreciate
Beauty,
it.
no worries. Thanks, guys.
And that was our interview with Benjamin Dakota Rogers.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on, Ben. Like,
Just taking the
Like,
time
he
out of
was-
your tour, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's big.
well, and he's one of my favorite guys to listen to nowadays. Like, I'm always blasting his tunes.
Wow,
And,
you bragged about it in the episode.
I
If you
did.
didn't pick it up, Mason was in the top 100 listeners on Spotify,
Apple Music,
Apple Music.
not a big deal.
So he's listened to a lot of hours of his music.
Oh yeah,
He knows his music inside out. So
yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So definitely, first of all, follow him on the socials. Second of all, go listen to him. Amp up the streams a bit.
Hell yeah. Anyways, we're moving on here, Devin. We're doing something a little different this time. We're
Yeah.
not doing one of our regular segments.
Do you want me to kind of explain?
Sure.
So usually, every couple of weeks, we try and like give a few different little segments here and there. And what we recently been doing has been doing odd news off the internet. However, I noticed the past few weeks we've been kind of bland. Nothing really odd has been happening on the internet recently.
The world's not weird enough right
The world's
now.
not weird enough. So I changed it up though. We're still going with the internet because the internet's a weird place. But we're going with odd questions from the internet.
Okay, before you do that, I have one that I wanted to ask you. I saw it on Instagram earlier. It was
Okay.
It was like a Barstool Sports Ask the Internet question or whatever. But if you had the option out of these three things, what would you pick and why? Would you want to hit a home run as a pitcher?
Okay.
Get a goal as a goalie in hockey, or get a touchdown as a linebacker in football? What would you?
Okay,
out of
so
those
I'm going to
three-
automatically cancel the touchdowns linebacker
Why?
because that's out of the odds. That's the highest odds.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, good.
Is it
interception.
though?
Yeah, because if you get the odds of you getting an interception, you get a touchdown
Well, it'd probably be a fumble.
or a fumble,
It'd be a fumble that you pick up. most
or
likely.
well, I mean, unless you're like an inside linebacker, and then like someone throws it, guts it up right up the middle.
See, but realistically, though, that would be the one thing that you could do because I mean, you're like
Yeah, but what's
the
one
size of a linebacker.
No. funny guy over here. I want.
Because the problem,
It's tough. It's the thing is though too is like the lowest odds, which I can't even look up on the internet. How
so
many?
the one thing that I kind of saw when I was looking at it is, it used to be a lot more like of a big deal and more prestigious when a pitcher would hit a home run, but nowadays because pitchers are getting so good, especially that guy
From Japan,
who plays for the
Okasawa or
Angels,
something. Yeah.
something like that. I don't know what it is exactly, but he's kind of taking the glamour out of pitchers hitting home runners because he's just hitting dingers for days. So my answer for that was a goaltender, attendee getting a goal, because like that only happens like once every couple years, and the second that happens, it's automatic history, just
Mhm.
because it happens so seldom, right?
Yeah. So here's actually the stat.
Okay.
There's only been ever 16 goals scored by goalie in the NHL
Over the past like 100 years or whatever, right?
by 13 goalies.
Okay, yeah. Brodeur got a couple, I think.
He's got 3.
Yeah.
Martin Brodeur, the legend, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, no, I'd go with the same answer. I think just like it happens so.
Can you also quickly Google how many pitchers have hit home runs, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, sure.
No, it's not really a good statistic to say, just because they have a lot more opportunity and they play so many more games. So obviously, there's going to be more pitchers that have hit home runs and goalies that have scored goals. But I just still think that there's it's a way bigger deal when a goalie gets a goal. Like it doesn't happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the first guy that comes up, Bob Lemon. He hit 35 of his 37 career home runs as a pitcher.
Yeah.
Like the top guys hit 37,
Well, and I'm sure it's
35.
probably still not super common, but yeah, just compared to goalies getting goals.
I'm just trying to like Madison Bumgarner, or he's currently in the league still. He's hit 19. So
Well, and
like
that raises the question as well. Do you think that it's easier for a pitcher to get a home run than for a linebacker to get a touchdown? I would say it's probably harder for a linebacker to get a touchdown just because they like the opportunity never comes up, and when it does come up, usually you're not in a position to get a touchdown.
yes and no.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it depends. Depends, because another thing too is you got to think about with baseball. It's getting technical now. Okay, in baseball, only half the league. If anyone's listening to this right now, I was up to some hood rat shit right now.
Miles a crackhead mode right now.
Yeah, so we apologize. But basically though, in baseball, because the AL and the NL, right? The only in the AL you have a designated hitter, so your pitcher actually doesn't hit.
Oh,
It's only in the NL. So if you're always been in the AL in your life, the only time you can actually hit a home run is when you go into the World Series. Who's ever home, that's how the rules go. So if the NL team is at home, that's NL rules. The AL team is at home, it's AL rules.
no, okay.
You know what I mean? Catch my drift?
Yeah. But I mean, you're still
So-
dividing the whole thing in half. So I mean, still
It just
half of the
depends on
league
like
has
your
the
career
opportunity.
path as a pitcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're staying in the AL and you're stuck with AL teams your whole career, the only time you can hit a home run as a pitcher in the major leagues is if you make it to the World Series, and even then, you have only so many at bats, right?
So weird how there's like different rules for the different divisions in the MLB. Makes no
Well,
sense.
it's just split between the basically like East and West,
yeah.
right? But
But then why don't they use the same rules?
way baseball is? Baseball is one of the oldest games in the world, man.
Baseball's dumb.
Baseball,
One of the oldest games in the world.
yeah, or at least in North America.
Yeah, that's a better way to phrase it.
Mhm.
yeah,
I don't know where you're about
it's
to go.
nowhere close to being one of the oldest sports in the world.
Anyways, all right. I got two odd questions from the internet. These are just random from one site. Just a heads up. These might be kind of dumb. We might not do this, but we'll see how it goes. All right, ready? This
Okay.
one's really dumb, but it's kind of funny.
Okay.
If I can find it. Where'd it go? It's question number 30 of 100. All right. Would you rather look like a potato or feel like a potato?
I think you've asked this question before, Dad.
Have I?
I think so. Neither of
If
them
you,
are
if you
good
had,
answers.
yeah, if you had, actually, this one's a good one. This one's a deep thinker.
Okay.
If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Okay, so I've kind of heard something kind of like this, to like where if you could speak to everybody in the world one phrase, or like say something and everybody in the world would hear it, but they wouldn't know it would come from you, what would you say? And there was one guy who commented, and he said pretty much along the lines of like he would reach out to every like religious person in the world from all religions and say, you picked the right God, right, or whatever. Everybody else is wrong, and then just see everybody go crazy. I don't know if I would do that because that's a little psychopathic, but
Yeah, that sounds like some social experiment.
yeah, it's much real burn. But if I had everybody's attention for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
be like, check out the Hitchman Sticks podcast.
I was thinking the same thing. Just go to extend.
Dude, I don't have anything interesting.
That's
Like,
an
what would I
issue,
do?
right?
What would I
Like,
do with 30 seconds? Be
the
like, I don't know.
problem
Follow me on
is-
Instagram. Like, I don't know.
Like,
Jenna Ortega, add me on Snap.
could you imagine?
Yeah, just be like, I'll just creep.
Yeah.
Use this 30 seconds just on me. Either she would see that it's a big time creep move, or she'd be like, damn, this guy had 30 seconds to do anything he wanted and he devoted it to me. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm. That is true. No, I'm like, the thing is like, certain people they could use as like a political move, right? But like, I don't like, I care about politics, but I'm not cool about politics, right?
See the people who are on like the top of the world for politics right now, or whatever. Like, there's a thing called Twitter.
I guess so. Donald
There's
Trump
a thing
loves
called
that
the
thing.
internet, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what I would say though. Again, probably just go follow Hitch from Sticks. Go
Yeah.
listen to us.
Use code Hicks10.
Yeah, Bethany would probably benefit the most out of all of us. There you go, Bethany. If we each had 30 seconds, we'd say go buy Wilder eggs from Bar Double Diamond. You'd be busy for years.
Well, in
but-
30 seconds, I could easily plug the podcast and also ask for Jenna or take a snap. So
Oh, definitely.
I'm looking just fine right now.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm kind of just going through this random question website.
And they're terrible.
They're just like kind of bland, you know.
Oh, that's what I was
But
telling
like
you.
my question is though. Nah, I'm actually not going to expose myself. But
Was it the crime one?
no, it was just like something else that I've done
If
before.
you could do any crime in the world,
Oh,
and get away
that's a
with
good
it,
one.
which one would
Like
you
the
do?
Purge. Oh, probably bank robbery.
Oh, that's what
Man, we think alike.
bank
It's kinda
robbery would be so fucking cool.
Well, I just like you had like say you had 5 minutes to rob, or like how like say you had a certain amount of time to rob somewhere and just steal all the money you want, right? Say you couldn't rob a bank, right? You couldn't rob a bank. Which store would you go to?
Hmm,
It's something incriminating. but-
probably Irvine's. Just steal steal a bunch of clothes.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I want this shirt.
I want
I
the
need a new
saddle.
pair of jeans.
I want this saddle. I want these boots.
Holy shit! Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna pay retail for that. No, that would be what my heart would say, but realistically, if you wanted to go somewhere and get like the most actual value, it'd probably be jewelry. No,
Probably.
like steal some Rolex.
No, I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking? Car dealership. Get into their safe with all the keys.
Okay.
Pick out a couple. If you had like 2 hours, man, you could run a couple off the lot easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't those things like tracked? They got chips in them and shit, so they can track them.
Well, I mean,
I don't
like
know if you'd
I
get
feel like
away
it.
with
I
that
feel like
crime.
okay, if you like had 2 hours and basically whatever you took off the property was yours.
Just flip it quick.
Look, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have somebody waiting on the curb, be like, "Yeah, I got this car. You want to buy it?
Yeah. No, basically.
Good deal just for
Same
you."
thing. Same
Yeah.
thing. Like I'm sorry, folks. This whole banter thing's kind of falling apart here. But like these dumb questions. Like,
Also, another
have you ever
crime
been
I'd
to
want
a-
to do is definitely piracy. I want to be a pirate.
That's not. No. Still haven't figured that out yet. But like it's like some of these questions. Don't ever search up odd questions on the internet and these like 101 question websites. And this one's like, what's the strangest thing in your fridge?
Probably that Belgian beer that I still need to drink. It's been in there a long time. I'm sorry, Master's parents. I do like the gift. I just keep on forgetting I have it.
This one's deep. Would you rather? What would you rather throw away? Love or money?
Throw away?
Love or money?
I don't want to get into that.
Sad. It's
Can
like
I throw away both?
live life free of love and money. Because like they're both sad, you know. If you throw away one, you're just gonna be sad no matter what. I mean, like
I don't really understand the premise of the question, because is that saying like, oh, you'd like throw away your job?
like
There's a
say,
thing called a job. You can always get more money.
well, no.
What do you mean throw away money? I don't even have that
How
much
about
money
this?
to throw
I'll make
away
it more.
right now.
I'll say it more simple right now. All right. Say you met the love of your life, right?
Okay.
And you had to choose between her or all the money that's in your bank account.
That's not very much.
I mean, you just did.
Here, I have a better hypothetical.
All right.
You have the opportunity to be with the love of your life,
Yeah.
but you also get a new job opportunity. It's your dream job.
Yeah.
And you'd be getting a huge pay raise, be making money hand over fist, but because of certain, maybe you have to move or whatever, you can't be with the love of your life. What are you picking in that case?
That one's actually like that's a good way of putting that question.
Yeah, because throwing away love or money, that makes no sense.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with love with my life.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. What about you?
Bros before hoes.
It's a good way to
Give me
put it.
them doubloons.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, Mason,
You could just buy some more love with money.
and like that's terrible. That's not even funny.
Hey man, there's gold diggers out there.
I guess in that way, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What you thought I was talking about prostitution?
Man, we've been
Yeah, get your head out of the gutter.
We've said some. This episode's been all over the place, and we're sorry, but it's just the way she goes sometimes with podcasting. You know, sometimes the way she goes. Like somebody's like, okay, this is the last time we ever did this segment, or we gotta think of something better. But this one question is like, who do you most like to poke fun at? Who do you most like to bully?
You.
Yeah, I already knew the answer. To that one.
Yeah. That was an easy one.
Yeah, I go cry at night. It's like dumb.
Also,
Like
my cat.
yeah, that sound. Yeah,
Bullied it.
we
Peter's-
do not. No.
If PETA's listening, I bully the shit out of my cat.
Oh, this one's also good as well.
Okay,
Someone you found $2,000 on the ground. What would you do with it?
keep it. Okay, so you're saying you just found like 2,000 in bills or somebody's wallet?
Let's just say somehow you're walking through Vegas, right? Guy won a bunch of money, too much to hold. As he's walking away, he drops $2,000 on the
Oh, I'm taking that.
all right.
Doesn't sound like he needs that 2,000 anyways. If he has that much money, where he's
Would you
dropping
say
2,000.
something though quietly and then take it, or would you just take it?
No, just take it.
Just take it,
And go gamble it and turn it into 12 grand.
or lose it all?
Yeah. Well, it
Because
wasn't
you
my money
care.
to begin with anyway. So what do I care?
Yeah, fair enough.
Put it all on black.
Ooh, if you decide to run for, so I guess Canadian version, if you decide to run for prime minister,
Would never happen.
what would your campaign slogan be?
Make Canada great again.
this episode, I hope you guys really enjoy this one because I have. Man, some of these are so dumb. Yeah,
Okay, one more. I thought we should probably wrap this up.
let me just find like another just dumb one. Like they're just dumb. Like, yeah, like I said before, if you don't search up 100 random questions on
What
the
we
internet,
probably should have done is maybe looked at this first and sifted through them and found a good one.
like this was dumb. If
Maybe
you were
for
fit,
future.
if you were in a room filled with you and your doppelganger and $2 million, what would you do? Like, is that saying like, are they trying to say like, would you kill your
Yeah.
doppelganger?
Yeah, I don't know what they're saying there, but I have a question for you. Would
Alright.
you fuck your doppelganger for $2 million?
And that's the episode. Thank you again for listening to Hicks of the Six podcast. Follow us on our socials.
And I think that was a resounding yes.
No, that was a no comment. Seriously though, follow us again on our socials on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. And then yeah, stay tuned every Sunday, 7:00.
Yeah, thanks for listening, y'all.
Talk to you later.
Have a good one.